Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of NEWS2. I'm Sandra Gumansing, topping our newscast. When disaster hits and lives and property threatened, most residents turn to their insurance companies for relief. This week, an annual meeting of insurance-related companies is being held to track the condition of the insurance industry in the territory and to help make sure they're ready when they're needed. NEWS2's April Knight has more.
Insurance providers across the territory are meeting this week on St. Thomas and St. Croix.
This is our second annual symposium, Insurance Symposium, and it's bringing the insurance industry together under one roof to talk about what's the state of affairs of insurance in the territory.
According to the Director of Banking and Insurance, their division is in charge of monitoring and regulating several aspects of the insurance industry, making sure insurance is available to residents at an affordable price. She said the division also looks at the solvency of each insurance company in the Virgin Islands.
And that's very, very important in this volatile environment because people need to know that when they purchase insurance, that they would be able to, if filing a claim, that company will be able to pay.
Lloyd's America Representative Patrick Talley gave the keynote on his company's significant presence in the territory.
We've been writing business here since the early 1970s, and we're a very significant part of the business here, about 35%. On average, at least 30% of the market for the last 30 years or so.
Brady said insurance companies in the territory number in the hundreds and that most of them are compliant with local regulations. Lieutenant Governor Potter, who serves as Commissioner of Insurance, also said the division is working on getting the insurance guarantee funds back up. The fund has been reduced to $10 million from $50 million, according to Potter, via legislation, a level that doesn't lend comfort to the insured.
We cannot predict hurricanes. Something can happen at any time.
Reporting for NEWS2, I'm April Knight.
The same gathering of insurance companies will be held on St. Croix on Wednesday, April 13th. WAPA officials say a few days ago, WAPA was notified that a string of street lights along the western lane of St. Croix's Melvin Evans Highway between Williams Delight and Estate Carlton had been vandalized. The thieves broke into the conduit and made off with over 300 feet of wire. Julio Reimer Sr., WAPA's interim CEO, said this is extremely costly and presents a hazard to motorists who travel at night. Plus, the cost of these repairs must ultimately be passed on to WAPA customers. Repairs are about 75% completed. The VIPD is investigating, and as cutting and stealing power lines is a criminal act. You can call WAPA's Internal Audit Revenue Assurance Division at 340-715-6563 or the VIPD if you have any information that can assist. Meanwhile, things are back to normal after Sunday night's massive blackout that lasted for at least 7 hours on St. Thomas. VIPA's Executive Director Carlton Dow said the Cyril King Airport in St. Thomas was temporarily closed at 7:20 p.m. due to electrical failure on the airport's runway during a district-wide power outage. The power generator for the airport terminal did come online after the outage. However, the independent generator for the airfield did not. He said the Port Authority is currently working with its consultant to design a redundant power system. Seabourn Airlines and Cape Air also canceled their last flights to St. Thomas. One American Airlines flight was diverted to San Juan. In the past few months, the administration has been announcing pay increases for various agencies in the executive branch. Now it seems it's the teachers' turn to have their wages increased, but some are not happy with just the pay raises, saying teachers are owed more. NEWS2's April Knight has details on the teachers' step increases.
After 7 years of stagnant wages, teachers across the territory can expect to get step increases soon. The government's chief negotiator, Natalie Nelson-Tang Ho, made the announcement on Friday.
This administration has been committed to giving our public employees their long overdue raises.
Many of these employees have suffered from an 8% cut for 2 years and have not received increases for 7, even up to 10 years. According to the collective bargaining chief, the administration wants to avoid any misconception that the increases are somehow linked to the retroactive wages that the government owes the teachers. A week ago, St. Croix's American Federation of Teachers President Rosa Soto Thomas said the federation can't just forgive and forget the owed retro pay, accusing the government of reneging on a signed contract.
As far as the salary increase is concerned, there have been no mandates or no requirements given by this administration that retro be given up in exchange for their salary increases. The salary increases are increases that have been owed to these employees.
The administration did admit that they cannot pay out both retroactive wages and step increases at the same time,
because of the fact that the government is trying to be realistic and to be transparent and to confirm that, in fact, the government does not have the wherewithal to provide retroactive wages at this time.
As soon as Governor Mapp receives and signs the relevant bill, the Division of Personnel will update the teachers' NOPAs. Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
Again, negotiations are still ongoing, and the administration is working with various unions, according to Tang Ho. Internal Revenue reminds taxpayers when filing the income tax returns, taxpayers are reminded to review your address, verify that you have signed, and include a daytime telephone number. Taxpayers who cannot afford to pay the tax due are encouraged to file the tax return by the deadline to avoid penalties. Now, the deadline to file for your tax return is soon approaching, and News 2 will catch up with the director of the Bureau of Internal Revenue, Marvin L. Pickering, and again, that's the director, to remind and share helpful tips with the community. Be sure to tune in to News 2 this Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Director Lawrence Olive says the new license plates have been available, and as of Monday, April 11th, the Bureau of Motor Vehicles office on Synchro will be initiating the release of the 100-year Centennial license plates. All customers are required to change from America's Paradise plates to the Centennial plates. The fees are as follows. $37 goes to the Bureau of Motor Vehicles, $10 goes to the Centennial Fund, and $2 to the Peace Officer Training Fund. The total cost is $49. For more information, you can call Ms. Aubain, the Executive Assistant to the Director, at 340-774-4268, extension 228 for more details. The VI National Park introduces, meanwhile, its 2017 Centennial and Transfer Day Time Capsule Project. They say each school will be asked to collect, display, vote, and select their own top 10 artifacts. Later, these items will be an on-island-wide vote for the selection of the final top 10 items. They will then be placed on display at the Christiansted National Historic Site before being placed and sealed in the 2017 VI Centennial Time Capsule. The artifacts and presenters will be honored during a public ceremony. Turn attention overseas. For the past few days, Donald Trump has been complaining about the delegate system, telling his supporters that the process is rigged. But almost a month after ballots were cast in Missouri's Republican primary, today's official results show that Donald Trump has won 12 more delegates from the Show Me State. Dan Gallagher has the latest on the race for the White House.
Winning 12 more delegates from Missouri today shines a bright spotlight on what's been a touchy subject for Trump, who spent the past couple days bashing the GOP nominating process.
We're supposed to be, you vote, and the vote means something.
Trump's rage against the machine this time started after Colorado Republicans held a state convention as opposed to a primary. Ted Cruz, far more prepared for that situation, came out with all 34 delegates there.
The system, folks, is rigged. It's a rigged, disgusting, dirty system.
Cruz has poked fun at Trump's anger.
When people vote against him, they're stealing the election. It's a really odd notion.
And while Trump is tweeting videos like this of a Colorado man burning his voter registration card,
goodbye, GOP.
Republican National Committee Chair Reince Priebus sent out a tweet saying the rules haven't changed.
You know, it's a bizarre process.
John Kasich, who openly cheers on the idea of a contested convention, has also spoke out on Cruz's behind-the-scenes delegate strategy.
In Michigan, the Cruz campaign tried to strong-arm and bully people, and they lost everything. And we did extremely well.
And it's not just the Republican race that has Trump in a tizzy.
Bernie Sanders wins, and he wins, and he wins, and then these people are saying he can't win because the system is rigged.
Voters in New York weigh in 1 week from today. In Washington, Diane Gallagher.
And keeping our eye on the economy, here's a look at the stock market watch at the New York Stock Exchange. According to the numbers there, we can see it's all up. The Dow 164, NASDAQ 38, S&P 500 also up at 19. Coming up on News 2, dreaming of home ownership? Well, opportunities arise. The unveiling of Morning Glory Ridge was held. It's the newest home ownership community located at Estate Mount Pleasant, St. Croix. Details on how you can get some information. Innovative officials say there is a change to the channel lineup that will become effective on April 30th, 2016. Innovative Cable TV has decided to discontinue AWE, A Wealth of Entertainment, which currently appears in the Variety Plus pack on Channel 320. Graciela Rivera, Vice President of Cable TV Services, said although Innovative is removing AWE, they are preparing to launch 2 additional channels on the Variety Plus pack, BBC World News and the Sundance Channel. Customers are encouraged to stay tuned for the launch dates of the aforementioned highly requested additional channels on the Variety Plus pack. The unveiling of Morning Glory Ridge was held. It's the newest home ownership community located at Estate Mount Pleasant, St. Croix. The VI Housing Finance Authority invited residents to hear the plans, tour the site, and learn more about available lots. Many potential new homeowners were on site for the VI Housing Finance Authority's unveiling of Morning Glory Ridge. It's the newest home ownership community located at Estate Mount Pleasant on St. Croix.
The Housing Finance Authority encompasses looking at what the demand is, what our clients say they want, and also to creating the opportunities for first-time home buyers to become homeowners.
The authority held an official opening ceremony for the completion on Monday and shared the plans for this community.
This project started many years ago. As you know, this is actually the 4th phase of our Mount Pleasant subdivision. We have many homeowners who live there and have enjoyed their community, and we developed the Buy a Lot, Build a Home program. So within this Morning Glory subdivision, an interested client can get 3 options. You can build a home on your own through a financing through the Buy a Lot, Build a Home program. Or if you don't want to go through that process, you can actually purchase a turnkey home. That means that we give you the key and you turn it.
Contractors were on site to share home designs, and banks, as well as other lending institutions, were on hand to discuss financing.
Over 20 plus years ago, I too went through the homeowners program with the Housing Finance Authority. It was scary, but I had a dream like Martin Luther King. I wanted to own a piece of the rock. I pictured a white picket fence, a nice white house. That was me. And today, I realized that dream. A home is wealth. And I created dreams and memories there.
Good job there. Now, the Virgin Islands Housing Finance Authority offers special program and financing available to first-time home buyers. And you could give them a call at 340-772-4432 for more information. The community came out in full support. The follow-up meeting for the last CAPA meeting that was held on April 4th was held last night, the follow-up meeting at Frenchtown Evangelistic Church. The concerns brought forth in the meeting were addressed, and they included excessive noise from parked and moving vehicles, gunshots, murders, dogfighting, vagrancy, trash on the streets, interim solutions needed for the bridge time between local bins and collection sites, and lack of enforcement for civil crimes such as marijuana use and littering for laws already in the code. The ability for a commercial business to exist and thrive in a residential neighborhood. Stay tuned. We'll have updates on the very next meeting in which your concerns can also be heard as well. On Tuesday afternoon, the Lieutenant Governor announced a new Reaching initiative targeting young learners. According to Lieutenant Governor Potter, the initiative is needed to remedy any reaching challenges that can impact children later in life. Here's more.
There are statistics out there that show that if our young people do not grasp reading strongly by the third grade, when they are in the third grade, it's a signal and it's a potential marker that they could be in trouble later on. Okay, the incarceration rate is linked directly to whether or not youngsters are able to read properly by the third grade.
Be sure to tune in. We will have more on this program. DPNR celebrates National Library Week with week-long activities. Commissioner Don Henry Esquire says the Division of Libraries, Archives, and Museums is celebrating. And it began from Monday, April 11th, continues to Friday, April 16th. First sponsored in 1958, National Library Week is a national observance sponsored by the American Library Association and libraries across the country each April. This year's theme, Libraries Transform. Library patrons are encouraged to return their overdue books and have the accrued fines waived. There are some scheduled class tours at all the libraries in the territory. On Saturday, also on April 16th, Run to Your Library, and that's an actual race sponsored by the Virgin Islands Pace Runners in celebration of the 33rd Annual National Week. That starts at 6 a.m. and it's starting from the Florence Williams Public Library. Virgin Islands Department of Education, as we reported, is celebrating the Week of the Young Child, April 10th to 16th, with a host of school-based activities and culminating events held across the two school districts. The culminating events for both islands are Friday, April 15th on Synchro. The fun event will take place at the David Canagata Ballpark from 9 a.m. On St. Thomas, the day will begin at 9 a.m. with a march from Emil Griffith Park to Adelita Cancrine Junior High School's field. It's geared towards students in kindergarten, first and second grades. There will be musical selections. There will also be many special guest appearances and participating community stakeholders. We shared St. Thomas St. John last week, and now we turn to St. Croix. Here's more.
During the week, we will have all of our elementary schools participating in activities that foster the love of reading and literacy. Also, we'll have our students participating in various events, and events not only focusing on education, but we're also bridging those gaps and having our community stakeholders and parents included as well, because we're looking at our entire child, the entire child. And so we're trying to bridge that gap, and that's really what Week of the Young Child is all about, getting everyone involved, our community stakeholders, our parents, and also the Department of Education.
Meanwhile, Joseph Sibley Elementary School's kindergarten to third grade students continued their celebration of the Week of the Young Child with a day of make and take. The arts and crafts activities were designed to show students and visiting parents fun, low-cost ways and ways to have fun as a family. Guided by their teachers, students moved between a number of stations set up outside for painting, making healthy snacks, bead art making, animal mask making, and balloon art. Sibley School continues the celebration on Wednesday, April 13th with Soca Aerobics, a trip to the Children's Museum, and a viewing of the Jungle Book movie at Market Square East Theater. Innovative announces that applications for the 2016 Albert Sheen scholarships are still available at various locations throughout the territory. The scholarships are awarded to 2 Virgin Islands high school seniors who have already been accepted to a college or university. The scholarship is named in honor of the late attorney Albert A. Sheen. Each student is awarded a one-time $10,000 scholarship to be used for tuition only. Applications are available at the security desks at the Innovative Business offices, online, and guidance counselors at all Virgin Islands high schools. Now, all these completed applications are due in one of the Innovative offices or postmarked by Friday, May 6, 2016. Innovative Telephone will also be donating $20,000 for 4 students, 2 per district, to receive a $5,000 scholarship to the University of the Virgin Islands. Taking a quick glance to our Carnival Corner. Next weekend, it's the Queen's Selection Show at the Lionel Roberts Stadium. Who will you be cheering for on Saturday, April 16th? Well, Here are your contestants. Contestant number 1, Bianca Phillips of St. Peter and Paul Catholic School. And then contestant number 2, Sierra Roberts of Charlotte Amalie High School. Contestant number 3, Kamarsha Potter of Charlotte Amalie High School. Now, be sure to support these young ladies as they vie for the title of VI Carnival Queen 2016, again next weekend at the Lionel Roberts Stadium. Another cultural celebration, but on the Big Island, a celebration of food. The St. Croix Food and Wine Experience continues. A Taste of St. Croix that's coming up with more than 50 St. Croix restaurants, catering firms, and chefs at the DV. Now tonight, it's the 25th All-Silver Jubilee at the Gourmet Vintner Dinner at Haypenny Beach. In 2001, 2 local restaurateurs, Kelly Odom and Catherine Pugliese, started the Taste of St. Croix to celebrate and showcase the diverse cuisine on St. Croix. It grew into the St. Croix Food and Wine Experience, attracting more than 3,000 guests, including travel writers and chefs. It was named as one of the top 10 international food and wine events by ForbesTravel.com. It has raised over $1.5 million for community programs. Be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.